Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we'll be digging into the nitty-gritty of company filings, and today it looks like First Capital Incorporated has some news to share that might just change how we see their numbers. Get ready because we're about to decode First Capital Incorporated's latest report, and it is all about their financial health and what that means for their future. If you love getting clear, no-nonsense insights from these official documents, make sure you are subscribed. Also, come join our community on Discord. The link is in the description below. Alright, so what we have here is a Form 8K filing from First Capital Incorporated. Think of this as a report that companies file when something significant happens that investors should know about right away. It's like a breaking news alert for the stock market. The key date here is the 24th of October 2025. That is the date of the earliest important event reported in this filing. First Capital Incorporated is a company incorporated in Indiana, and their main office is located in Corydon, Indiana. Now, let's talk about what they have listed on the stock market. Their common stock, which is basically the ownership pieces of the company, is traded under the symbol FSCAP on the Nasdaq stock market, LLC. This is where most of the trading action happens for their shares. The main reason for this filing today seems to be reported under item 2.02, which is all about their results of operations and financial condition. This means they've likely released some financial news or updates that they need to officially report. And it looks like on the 24th of October 2025, First Capital Incorporated issued a press release. This press release, which is included as an exhibit with this filing, is probably where all the juicy financial details are. We are definitely going to dig into those details. This press release, Exhibit 99.1, is really the heart of what we need to look at today. Although we don't have the full text of the press release here, the fact that it is attached tells us that the information within it is now part of the official record. This is where they would typically announce things like revenue, profits, earnings per S-hair, and any significant changes in their business performance. Let's imagine what was in that press release. They likely shared their latest financial results. When companies report their results, they're usually comparing them to previous periods like the last quarter or the same quarter last year. This helps everyone understand if the company is growing, shrinking, or staying steady. For example, if they reported that their revenue, which is the total money they brought in from sales, went up by say 10%, that is a good sign. But if it dropped by 10%, that is concerning and suggests they might be losing customers or their products are not selling as well. It is not just about the numbers themselves, but what those numbers tell us about the company's health and its ability to compete in its industry. We also need to look at their profitability. Did their net income, which is the money left after all, expenses are paid, increase or decrease? A rising net income means the company is becoming more efficient or successful at turning sales into actual profit. A falling net income could point to rising costs, increased competition, or operational issues. Think about it like this. If a pizza shop's revenue goes up, but their cost of ingredients and labor also went up even more, their profit could actually go down. This is the kind of nuance we look for in these filings. Another critical aspect is cash flow. This shows how much actual cash the company generated or used. A company can look profitable on paper, but if it is not generating enough cash, it can struggle to pay its bills or invest in future growth. Positive cash flow is like the lifeblood of any business. We also pay close attention to any guidance the company might give. This is their forecast for future financial performance. It gives investors a clue about what the company expects to happen next, and it sets expectations for future quarters. Sometimes companies are very optimistic in their guidance, and sometimes they are more cautious. How they perform against their own guidance is also a key indicator. Given this is an 8K, they might be announcing something more immediate, perhaps a significant acquisition, a divestiture, a change in their senior leadership, or maybe even a material event that impacts their operations. The prompt mentions results of operations and financial condition, so it is highly probable that the press release detailed their quarterly or year-to-date financial performance, highlighting key metrics and trends. And just to cover all the nitty-gritty from the filing itself, we see Exhibit 104, which is the cover page interactive data file. This is essentially a digital file that makes the key information from the report easily searchable and analyzable for investors and regulators. It is part of making these filings more accessible. Now, let's put on our investor hats and think about what this all means. The fact that they filed an 8K on the 24th of October 2025 implies they have something significant and timely to report. Following the issuance of a press release, it is usually a snapshot of their recent financial performance. We would ideally want to see specific numbers here. For instance, if the press release stated a particular revenue figure, say $50 million, we'd immediately ask, how does that compare to last year? Is that up or down? If it was down, we'd want to know why. Is the industry facing headwinds? Are their competitors doing better? Let's assume for a moment, based on the context of an 8K, that the press release revealed a strong quarter. For example, if revenue grew by 15% and net income grew by 20%, that's a very positive signal. This suggests First Capital Incorporated is successfully growing its business and increasing its profitability. Perhaps they've launched a successful new product, expanded into new markets, or are simply executing their business strategy very effectively. Conversely, if the numbers were not as strong, perhaps revenue was flat and net income declined, it would raise questions. Wednesday look for explanations in the press release may be increased competition, higher operating costs, or challenges in a specific market segment. For instance, a 5% drop in revenue could mean they lost about 1 in 20 of their customers compared to the previous period. That is a number that needs investigation. In the world of investing, consistency is often key. Seeing steady growth and stable profitability builds confidence. Volatile results can make investors nervous and might lead to a lower valuation for the company. So, what is the story here? First Capital Incorporated on the 24th of October 2025 is signaling to the market that there is something important happening with their finances. They've released a press release to share these updates, and this 8K filing makes that information official. The core of it is likely their recent financial performance and as investors. We need to scrutinize those details to understand whether First Capital Incorporated is on a path to growth and better profitability, or if there are underlying challenges that could impact its future success. Looking at this filing, my take is that First Capital Incorporated is using this 8K to formally communicate significant financial news, likely from a recent press release. The strength or weakness of their financial condition will be revealed in the specific numbers of that release. If revenue is up and profits are healthy, it suggests strong operational performance and market demand for their products or services. If the numbers are down, we need to understand the reasons. Are they investing heavily in growth that will pay off later? Or are they facing genuine headwinds? A key risk for any company is the failure to adapt to changing market dynamics or to effectively manage costs. Looking ahead, their ability to consistently deliver positive financial results will be crucial for investor confidence and the company's long-term valuation. Alright, that is our breakdown of First Capital Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.